new crew? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Cassandra and today we're doing a really quick kitchen reset. I want to show you guys what I do in the middle of the month, every single month, instead of going to the grocery store, what I do, how I shop my freezers and my food storage to reset my large family's kitchen and meals for the second half of the month. Really simple. What we did this morning is we refilled our snack containers. We went ahead and the kids helped me make a batch of butterscotch chocolate chip cookies. We got those made in the oven and they are already in our snack jars, ready to go. The other thing that we worked on this morning was getting our trail mix going. This morning before the kids got on the bus, I asked them what they wanted. They wanted a batch of cookies and they wanted a batch of trail mix. So we're gonna be picking up while I'm making the trail mix and also getting a couple days worth of chicken eggs washed up. So let's go ahead and just hop right in to the kitchen reset. We are starting off by just washing a couple days worth of eggs. Typically, I prefer not to wash my eggs at all. I like to leave them out on the counter. I just do. That's how I like to use them. I read somewhere on Instagram or heard somebody talking where they hate washing dirty eggs because they feel like they have to pick their eggs twice. They're doing twice the amount of work, and I cannot agree to that more. I try to keep my nesting boxes full of fresh bedding so that my eggs come out clean. However, there are 2 times a year or 3 times a year where the eggs just come out really nasty no matter what. You're going to see me throwing some eggs aside, and those are eggs that are cracked. Obviously, as it freezes, sometimes you cannot get to your eggs fast enough and the weather gets to the eggs and they crack. Those eggs are still usable. I prefer to just put them right back in my chicken scraps bucket. I give them to the chickens and they eat them. Some people would not do that. They don't want their chickens to get in the habit of eating their own eggs. I do not have that issue. I never have. My husband has in the past. He's been raising chickens since he was a little kid, and he would never give eggs to the chickens, but I do. They don't eat their own eggs. I've never had that issue. If I do start to have that issue, I won't give them their eggs anymore. But I just washed my eggs up, set them aside, and I prefer to not have to wash them if I don't have to. But it is that time of year where the chickens always have kind of wet, gross feet because of the snow, and then the nesting boxes just get muddy and gunky and wet, and the eggs come out kind of gross. So I would rather just wash them and keep them in the fridge for this time of year. And then that happens again in the spring when everything melts and it's a lot of mud and gunk, or maybe after a rain or something like that. And we've had a really warm winter here in Wisconsin. I mean, I think today our high is almost 50 degrees, and that's just unheard of for us. So it keeps snowing and then raining and then mud, and then it freezes and then you have mud ice and it's like a mud ice rink. So it's just been a really weird winter for us weather-wise. So my eggs are coming out really nasty, kind of like they do in the spring. So I just wanted to get everybody washed up, and this was a huge part of the reset for me for the week. For us, I want to go ahead and make some hard-boiled eggs. That was something I wanted to do on this day, but it just didn't happen, which is a-okay with me. You can't always get everything you want done in a day, and this is just one of those things that didn't end up happening for me, but it's easy enough of a task that I can do it another day or on an afternoon. You know, it just is what it is. You can't always get it all done. So that was just one thing that didn't get done on this day. And the amount of time it took to wash our eggs, our ranch oyster crackers are done. So I'm going to do the same thing I do with my cookies. I'm just going to leave them here, let them cool for a little bit before I put them in the glass jars. So I already have eggs checked off my list, which is good. A couple days worth of eggs. A lot of them were already cracked, which really sucks, but it happens in the winter when it freezes. Sometimes the cold weather just gets your eggs quicker than you can. I do check morning and night for eggs, but it happens. So I think I lost like 5 or 6 eggs to cracks. So this is the day's worth of eggs. Well, a couple days worth of eggs. I had some up on my counter, but they were getting really gross. So this morning I packed the nesting boxes with fresh bedding, So hopefully my eggs will be a little bit cleaner moving forward, because if I don't have to wash them, I don't like to, but I got these washed up. We have to clean out the fridge and make room for these eggs, because now that they're washed, they need to be stored in the refrigerator. We're going to have to clean out our sink from washing eggs. These are the butterscotch chocolate chip cookies that the kids helped me make this morning. We needed more snacks. You can see our snack jars are empty. This is what I put in kids' lunch boxes. After school snacks, before bed snacks, these are kind of where the kids grab. We've done a lot of muffins recently, and now that we're heading close to Christmas time, we're going back to cookies. So this is a brand new cookie. I've never made these before, but they taste very good. This is where we'll put our ranch oyster crackers. So I let our ranch oyster crackers cool off, and then I put them in one of my glass jars. I get questions on these jars all the time. I got them from Walmart. They were pretty inexpensive, but that was before inflation, so I don't know what they're priced at now. But this small one you see here I got for around $6. Not sure on what the price is now, so it's probably gone up because everything has, but I love these glass jars. We keep them right up on the counter. The kids can reach them, and whenever they need a snack, they can just grab a scoop of these crackers, or they can grab a cookie or a muffin or a bar, whatever we have in these jars, and those are like the go-to snacks. You don't have to ask, just go ahead and grab one, and then when they're empty, I just refill them, and it saves us a lot of money. This is the big project for today. It's the middle of the month, and I like to go through my fridge in the middle of the month, clean everything out, and go down in my freezers and restock anything that needs to be taken out of the freezers and into the fridge or into the pantry. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm just waiting for Cleo to nap because I don't want to be pulling all this stuff out with her awake, and we're getting there. So all of this stuff is going to go out to the chickens later. So this was the big task for me of the day. I had been putting it off for a couple of days. I hadn't really cleaned it out very well before once a month grocery shopping, so some of the leftovers in here are really old. Unfortunately, it's pretty rare that we have to pull scraps out of the fridge, but we went through this like upper respiratory thing, kind of sick, and nobody really ate for a couple of days, and that's why there are so many leftovers in the fridge. Just nobody really had an appetite. So I got to get these out. They're going to the chickens, and it's not really a waste because we will give them to the chickens. They will thoroughly enjoy them, and then we turn that into eggs. I'm focusing mostly on reorganizing some things because leftovers got pushed to the back, and when they get pushed to the back, they get lost and forgotten about, and that's exactly what happened. So I've got chicken scraps that need to go out, and then I will wipe everything down. Not a deep dive, but just kind of get things wiped up a little bit, reorganize some things, and as I'm doing that, I'm also making some mental notes on what I have when it comes to fresh fruit and vegetables, because sometimes in the middle of the month we will do a mid-month restock on things. I'm waiting to do my mid-month restock until after next week for when the kids get off for winter break. That's when I'll go back and grab. Honestly, I'll probably text my husband a list on his way home from work one day, and I'll have him pick up like bananas, maybe if we need more yogurt, definitely milk, and a handful of other things, really small, just mostly fresh fruits and vegetables, some fresh berries or something like that for the kids to have while they're home on winter break, from that until the beginning of January for my next big shop. But I already have this stuff. Not all of this is bad, but this is just stuff that I've pulled out. I have a big bowl in the sink, or a big pot in the sink I'm going to use for chicken scraps, along with this Dutch oven that got pulled out of the fridge last night that needs to go. And then the bowl behind the Dutch oven is also full of just regular food scraps from the last day or two from eating meals. So I'm going to finish getting this cleaned out and give it a wipe. We still have apples and oranges that are looking great. We have a ton of apples and oranges actually still, and we've been eating through a ton of them as well. We just had a lot this month. So I'm just going to finish pulling everything out, and we can get this task checked off for today. I don't think I have to pull out really anything out of my freezers, because yesterday I pulled out 2 loaves of bread. I pulled out a package of tortillas. I pulled out some cheese as well, because last night I was going to make enchiladas with some of our fresh enchiladas, or with our canned enchilada sauce that we did over preservation season, but my husband texted me at like 1 o'clock and said, hey, you know what you should do? You should make homemade raviolis. So we did that instead, but I already had pulled everything out. So it's ready for me for dinner tonight, which is really great. So I actually, thinking about it, I don't think I need to pull anything out of my freezers. I kept all of my butter in the fridge this month for all of the impulsive holiday baking that I was gonna do. So normally this would be the time of the month where I go down and I clean out the fridge and I'll pull out extra string cheese, extra Go-Gurts, lunch meat, cheese, tortillas, some bread, but just kind of naturally we've done that, so I don't need to take a full afternoon to pull things out, because just gradually over the last 2 days we've pulled everything out that normally I would do. So now all I have to do is clean this out, get everything put back in, and we're ready to go. This also gives me an opportunity to just kind of look at things. What do we have open? What do we really need to use up so that I can meal plan like some snacks or some meals over the next couple of days? This is cranberry applesauce that did not seal when I canned it. I want to make these into muffins, so I think I'm going to do that probably within the next day or two. We have some leftover crushed tomatoes. I need to use those up. We've got some applesauce, some hot sauce. I'm just kind of looking to see if there's anything that looks like it really needs to be used, and I don't think there's anything that's really jumping out at me. But we pulled all the scraps out, so I'm going to get ready to put all those in a bowl and run those down to the chickens. But I'm gonna wipe this off and put my good stuff back in so that I can get the fridge closed up and move on to some other things. All of my good leftovers are back in. I really try to keep them in front so that we can see everything, and that way my husband can grab them for lunch on his way out the door. Me and the kids that are home all day, we eat leftovers for lunch almost every single day. So this is just a really quick fridge reset. This is good to go. We're gonna go ahead and shut this. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, just doing a really quick homestead kitchen reset. Not every kitchen reset has to be super in-depth or super crazy. We made cookies this morning. We got Chex Mix done this morning. We cleaned out our fridge, kind of did some mental meal prepping over the next day or two, thinking about what needs to be used up before it goes bad, if any. And this is also where I would take that time, like I said, to go down to my pantry, pull some things off of the food storage if I needed to pull things out of the freezers if I needed to. But I did forget, we also have to package these eggs. So I have some egg cartons up here. I try to keep a couple egg cartons up in my kitchen at all times. Otherwise I keep my big stack down in the basement with my food storage. But that way, if my neighbors come and knock on my door really randomly and ask for a carton of eggs, I can package them up really quickly and I don't have to run downstairs. So I've got these here. So I've got 1 dozen here. This will be ready to go in the fridge. Got another dozen here. My blue layer is starting to lay again after molting. So I finally got some really pretty blue eggs again. Same with our green. Awesome. And then I have this plastic one I got for Christmas last year. So what I like to do is put our eggs for our house in this container, and then I like to keep a couple of these in the fridge for my neighbors, because when they need eggs, they just come on over and we hand out a dozen, and then they bring me back their egg carton usually, and we just refill. So these will be in the fridge. We have another dozen here. That is just my really simple, straightforward reset. We've got snacks done. Our eggs are washed and now in the fridge. Our fridge is cleaned out. All of our leftovers are gone, and the chickens have them. So the chickens are gonna eat those. That's a really simple kitchen reset for you guys. This is what I do typically in the middle of the month, around the 15th-ish of every month, just to give my kitchen a really small reset, reset the fridge, refill our snack things, and just kind of get ready for the next half of the month. Instead of going grocery shopping at the store, I will go down in my freezers and on my long-term food storage shelf and restock my upstairs kitchen with things that we purchased during either once a month grocery shopping or that we can during preservation season, and just kind of reset everything for the second half of the month. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.